Advantages and limits of video recording as a tool for students, teachers and researchers in music conservatories. A virtual presentation for the international conference The Future of Education in Florence 2011. Drawing for recent literature and from the author's experience as a music instrument teacher, learner and researcher, this paper addresses the advantages and limits of video recording, first as a learning strategy for conservatory students, second as a pedagogical tool for conservatory teachers, and third as a tool in pedagogical research in a conservatory. Conservatory students use a wide range of learning strategies, including personal practice, one-to-one tuition, rehearsals, music listening, research, teaching, etc. The pedagogical potential of video appears clearly when considering how difficult it is for performer students to assess themselves. While they play, several simultaneous activities require their attention. They must combine kinesthetic activity, such as skillfully coordinated movements, reading notes, listening to themselves and to possible partners, using short and long-term memory, communicating emotions and managing stress. Even if many of these activities become automatic, it is nevertheless difficult to listen well to different parameters such as, for example, intonation, tempo regularity through difficult passages, dynamics, expressiveness, etc. One possible solution is to record oneself and listen to the audio recording afterwards. As the assessing activity is no longer disturbed by the playing, it is easier to focus on individual parameters. However, making music is not just an affair of producing the right sound at the right moment. The facial expression, the position of the body, and the movement of the arms and fingers are an important part of the performance. Especially nowadays, the art of performing is tied to visual arts, even to choreography. Moreover, some modern composers give explicit indications about the movements that performers must carry out while playing. In these contexts, using video recording becomes a necessary learning strategy for students performers. There are some limits to video recording. For example, recording and watching videos takes time, and it can seem not so interesting for students, as they can think that they have already heard, grosso modo, what was wrong or right in their playing. It may be also difficult or expensive to do a recording of reasonable quality, considering that these students are very demanding regarding sound quality. However, the benefits of this learning strategy compensate for these difficulties. To see oneself on video sometimes can be the only way of becoming aware of inappropriate postures or involuntary movements, and this awareness is necessary to get rid of them. Another reason is the potential of video recording as a tool for reflection. Helping conservatory students to become reflective practitioners is one of the main tasks of conservatories. Watching video recordings with others also helps the conservatory to become a learning community where teachers and students are involved in collective discussion and reflection. Moreover, using video recording also can help students in constructing their self-image, which is one of the personal and professional identity-making process elements. There are a number of possibilities of using video in teaching learning processes in conservatorias, for example, piano methods with video support or video master classes. This section of the presentation addresses the use of video recording as a tool for improving conservatory teachers' skills and for implementing more efficiently their different roles. There are several difficulties that can make music instrument teachers hesitate to use video recording. Teachers often have too little time allocated to their one-to-one lessons. And furthermore, most of them will find it hard to use teaching tools that they have not used themselves when they were students. Using video recording should help them to improve the quality of their work, allowing them to observe and assess their own teaching practices, their attitudes, the quality of their diction, the filler words they use, the time management of their lessons, etc. It's important to note also that nowadays music instrument teachers are expected to be not only pedagogues and artistic role models, but also facilitators, advocates, networkers, and organizers of the learning processes. In their role as facilitator, one of the possibilities for creating supportive and collaborative learning environments is the elaboration of short publicity films with the students that will foster students' participation in a common project outside of the strictly musical sphere. As an advocate and networker, a way to contribute to the musical life of the school, the community and the society is to record students' concerts or class recitals that can be disseminated appropriately. And in their role as a planner and organizer, watching videotaped lessons or students' concerts together with them appears as an effective way of formative and motivating assessment and allows teacher and student to make plans and to set goals together for effective teaching and learning. To illustrate the application of video recording in research in a conservatory setting, an example can be useful. Recently, video recording was used in a study that was undertaken in Latvia between March 2010 and January 2011. The objective of the study was to address the needs of music academy students that are going to start teacher training in order to suggest improvements in teacher training practices. This slide presents the main methodological advantages of video recording for this study. First, in data gathering, second, in the data coding process, third, in the analysis and interpretation of the results, and fourth, in the dissemination of results. 5 hours of one-to-one lessons were videotaped, and during the observation of students teaching, the presence of a little camera in a discreet place allowed to gather very rich and reliable information while requiring little time from the participants and without disturbing the students' teaching work. All events relevant to the research questions were coded. The use of video recording allowed watching several times the observed sequences, focusing successively on one of the relevant aspects of the teaching activity of students at a time, wording, contents, movements, etc., and coding it. Video recording also made it easy to involve several researchers in the coding process, as they didn't need to be present during the lesson and they could work on the coding of the video files at the different moments. It was also easy to involve the participants themselves in the analysis of data and the interpretations of the results. The possibility to watch their own lessons attracted the students, and this was a very natural way of forming focus group discussions, where students reflected on their teaching activity and commented on and modified the conclusions of the researcher, thus improving the reliability of the study. Finally, in the presentation of the results, showing the video excerpts of the most relevant events with the consent of participants, made interventions in conferences and seminars more interesting than just commenting numeric figures and graphics. As a conclusion, it can be said that this study shows the decisive importance of video recording to help students to become reflective practitioners and in their identity-making processes, to improve conservatory teachers' skills and to implement more efficiently their different roles, and as an irreplaceable tool for pedagogical research in conservatory, in data gathering and analysis processes, and for increasing the validity and reliability of the interpretation of results. Considering the main challenges tied to the use of videotaping in conservatory, young conservatory students often already possesses and advances multimedia culture. For example, they are used to video record everyday life situations with their mobile phones and deal with video regularly in the internet as users of YouTube or other similar interfaces. However, video remains for them more a tool for entertainment, and the main pedagogical challenge is to introduce them to the use of video in their learning processes as a learning strategy. Regarding conservatory teachers, the main challenge is to increase their media competence and their understanding of the possibilities that video recording opens in the pedagogical process in higher music education. Finally, for researchers in conservatory settings, one of the main uses is to develop a reliable and efficient methodology that allows exploiting the immense potential of video recording, not only in pedagogical research, but also in the field of artistic research. Thank you for your kind attention.